Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing not an unboxing but a quick review on the Campark X30 action camera. Obviously I've been on the hunt for a while now for really good, relatively cheap action cameras, and this ticks a lot of boxes. So let's get into it, and while we're on the subject of boxes, let's talk about the box it comes in. Really good, reasonably small sized, nondescript box, all the details that you would require on the front, all the different parameters that the camera's got. When you open it up, normally in the waterproof case you would have obviously the action camera, which I've taken out and I've been testing. Nice, good quality waterproof case. I have not tested it underwater, but I'm pretty sure it'll make it waterproof. In there normally comes the spare battery as well, which I've already removed. Good little instruction manual. By sharing your experience, surprise, your experience matters. It's just basically a way of doing reviews for the actual camera. And then in this box here, you get all the extra gubbins that comes with every action camera. And if you're anything like me, you probably use about 2 of them, but you never know, they're there for future use. And as I stated, it does come with a spare battery and an external battery charger. The actual battery itself is a 1350 milliamp hour battery, and it is really good battery life on it. Looking around the unit itself, battery hinge door as we've just seen, tripod mount there. On this side you have got, if we just zoom in a little bit for you, on the side there you have the micro USB for charging and data transfer, micro HDMI, micro SD card. I've only had it up to a 64 gig card. It does advise it only supports 64. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't do a 128, to be honest with you. On this side you've got up and down control buttons. You have a speaker grill on the side, a mic at the top, shutter release button, and a on button, on and off button on the front. Very nondescript, very well made. Plastic, obviously, for this kind of money, but really good, solid, and it's got some heft to it. The only thing that I don't like straight away with this action camera, if we switch it on, take a second or two, touch screen on the back, go straight into video. Let's start recording. Little flashing blue LED just in the corner, goes to red in that corner. On the top, no indication it's recording. On the front, no indication that it's recording. I find that really annoying. I like to know that my camera is definitely recording if it's pointing towards me. If it was mounted on the front of your car and you're doing some action shots, you want to know the damn thing is recording. That should be in every camera. The actual interface, very simple. Let's just stop a recording for a minute. There we go. Scroll up, all your different parameters on the actual camera itself. Video, slow motion, loop recording, lapse recording, photo, automatic photo, burst and timer. Not quite sure what automatic, I think it just literally takes a sequence of pictures. It certainly doesn't start recording when it detects movement or anything like that. Whatever you're in, if you're in video, go into settings, you've got all your different recording resolutions and it states it does 4K 60 frames a second, but we'll touch on that in a minute or two. Electronic image stabilization, distortion correction, white balance, exposure, metering mode, sharpness, video quality, ISO, time watermark, audio on and off, field of view, it does narrow, medium and wide. For some reason it says off. Don't quite know what off is. Doesn't actually seem to make much of a difference. Screen is really clear, more or less visible in daylight. I have used it outdoors. I think it would be a little bit difficult obviously in bright sunlight, but you show me an LCD that is not that easy to see in bright sunlight anyway. Play button, press the corner, all your different videos, you can just scroll through them all. You can go back. On your settings, you've got your actual proper settings, image rotation, on and off if you were using it in your car mounted upside down. You've got Wi-Fi turn and off, Wi-Fi information, reset Wi-Fi, light frequency, LED indicator, auto screensaver, auto power off, I've set mine to 5 minutes, button prompt, middle, that's just the volume of the button prompts, language, time format, time set, date set, format, device info, factory reset. Device info, there you go, model X30, software version, and then obviously it's made by Campark, which is a relatively well-known budget price action cam producer these days. Right, I've just switched the Wi-Fi on the camera. As you can see, it's now flashing. Let's just get it in focus. All I do, it's DV King 4K is the app, and it should just connect straight to it. He says hopefully. There we go, we're actually into the app now. So it's a very simple app, and to be honest with you, I don't use the apps much, but you've got your different settings: video, slow motion, loop, lapse. You can choose what you're recording in, 4K 60 frames a second. Now, the thing that attracted me to this camera is not the 4K 60 frames a second. Explain that in a second. But obviously it does 1080p, but it does 1080p at 120 frames a second for your slow motion. The image stabilization seems relatively good. The sound recording, as you'll see, isn't the best, but it'll do. And obviously in the app then you can actually go into all the photographs and everything that you've done. Comes up with everything. You can transfer it across to your phone then, and then you can use the footage as you see fit. So relatively simple, does everything that you would actually require in an app. We go into the settings, there you go, everything that we actually discussed earlier is on there. All your different settings are in there. Device parameters for your Wi-Fi, everything else that you might want. Dead simple. What more do you want? At the end of the day, it does live. There seems obviously a bit of a lag, but it's reasonable, and it's a good little remote if you need to use it for that. So that's the app, DV King 4K. Right, I'm comparing the video, it might seem a little bit overkill, between my GoPro Hero 7 Black, which is on the left hand side as I'm recording, so it'll probably come out on the right, and then I've got the Campark X30. This is just inside my conservatory with ambient light, just so that you can see. Testing the sound quality, GoPro Hero 7, testing 1, 2, 3. Campark X30, testing 1, 2, 3. Both sets are recording 1080p in 60 frames a second. Right, recording on both. It is actually raining outside at the moment. Won't hit the GoPro. Let's just test the running around test up and down the garden. You may notice I have lost my fence panels. We had a storm and it's pouring down, so let's go in the gazebo a moment out of the rain. So yeah, it's a bit of a horrible wet day. I started doing my YouTube video earlier and it hailed like Billy-O. I might even put a bit of footage at the end of this to show you what the hail was like. But I just want to test the camera out. This is obviously in subdued lighting inside my gazebo that looks like the kids have been playing it. Don't excuse the mess in there. But yeah, it's not exactly the best day for me outside. It's relatively mild, a bit warmer than the last testing video I did. But yes, this is outside. So outside testing GoPro test sound 1, 2, 3. Campark X30 test 1, 2, 3. So this is outside. This is a vlogging scenario, going around with the cameras. Let's go around the front of the house. Hopefully not much rain will go on the lens. It is brightening up in the distance. I'm going to test the time lapse quickly on it, and then I'm going to test the 120 frames a second for you. Now I'm getting wet, so I'm getting in. Right, you will have seen the footage of the actual camera in use. I did some time lapse when I was at Rudyard at the weekend for you to try, to view. Obviously a quick brief comparison between the GoPro Hero 7 and the Campark. It seems, for the money, a really good camera. Now, bear in mind that this is £100 on Amazon. It should be £129, which is quite expensive for a cheap action camera. But for what it does, and I think the quality of the unit, I think it's actually worth it. If you're in the market and you can stretch to £100, this is probably about your best bet. Few drawbacks, obviously, as I mentioned. Couple of things to bear in mind with the actual camera. I said it does 4K at 60 frames a second. It does 4K at 3200 by 1800. That's not 4K. 4K is 3840 by 2160. I don't shoot in 4K 60 frames a second. It seems to be good when I've played it back in the camera, but I don't use that. It does 4K at 30 frames a second, and then obviously 1080p at 120 frames a second. It does 20 megapixel stills, which do seem pretty sharp. I'll put a couple of those up as well. Image stabilization is okay. You're not going to get GoPro image stabilization for this kind of money, obviously. It records in the new H.265 codec, so it's really frugal on how it stores its data. Obviously, field of view you can alter on it. It's 2-inch LCD touch display on it, 170-degree wide field of view, unless of course you alter it. For the money, I think it's a good unit. It's, as I say, it's not a GoPro. It's not even an SJ cam. But I think if you're in the market and you've got £100 spare and that's all you want to spend and you want a good camera for this summer holidays, I don't really think you'd go far wrong. Sound quality isn't brilliant, but again, sound quality isn't brilliant on any action camera. It's got its drawbacks, but I think it's got more plus points. If the sound quality was a little bit better and it had some form of identification on the front to show it was recording, I think it would be an absolute killer machine for the money. Thank you very much for all my new subscribers. We're almost at 500 subscribers now. Apologies if the lighting in here doesn't seem as good as usual. My lovely ring light that I used last time, I took it out of its box earlier, plugged it into the main supply and it went bang. so that's dead. We've had a massive hailstorm. I'll put a bit of footage at the end to show you. That stopped me recording earlier. It's rained on me. Everything has transpired against this video today, so hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it's informative enough for you. If it is, please give me a thumbs up. If it's your first time on the channel, please consider subscribing. I hope you're enjoying all my outdoor exploits now the weather's getting better. And as always, until next time, take care. See you soon. The size of them buggers. Oh my giddy aunt. That's mental. They're huge. They're getting bigger. I was going to do a YouTube video. That's really rough. Ah! Brightening up over there, but I hope it goes off so I can do my review video.